Greetings, one and all. My name is Praveen. I am from the company called Vocuni. So, just about for the folks who've not watched my previous videos, just want to tell a brief about my organization. Vocuni Private Limited is a green collar workforce. We are into solar, wind, and EVs. EVs is electric vehicles. So, what I am here to talk about today, as you see in the presentation, is about the charging stations. So I started my video just about me. My name is Praveen. I'm working in Vocuni as a sales and marketing manager for South region, and I represent all the webinars and I actually educate all the ITI engineering and existing service engineers who are working in ICE sectors. So last time the first video that I ever started, the webinar was what is EV, what is electric vehicle. And then I spoke about what are the two-wheeler components in EV, electric vehicle. And then I spoke about what are the four-wheeler components. Now is that we briefly covered about what is EV and the two-wheelers and the four-wheelers. Now the next thing, which is the best thing is, which we have to talk about, the charging stations. Now, I personally went to a lot of charging stations which has been put in Bangalore to actually get my hands-on experience as to what it is and how the charging infrastructure works and how long does it take to charge. All those things you will be able to see in the PPT as I am going to talk to you about it. Now, to start with, when we actually see this is my first charging station presentation. At the first place, thank you all for joining. I see a lot of people are also joining as we speak. Before me beginning my presentation, I would want to actually tell you that if there is any questions or if there is anything that which comes as a doubt in your mind, feel free to message, feel free to send us an email. We will send you the PPT and we will also call you, or we will also message you and tell you with regards to the doubt which you're addressing to us. Now, I'm sure that you're all well versed, and I'm sure that you're all aware that EV, electric vehicles, as to what it is happening in the industry and what is a boom that we are going to have in the near future. Right? So here, when we actually see the charging stations that I'm talking about, there are various charging stations which I visited. Which is in Banaswari, one which is in near KR Circle, near City Market. Now, when we actually see the next slide which we are talking about is about my professional experience with regards to I have around about 20 years of experience in automotive sector, and and I am a content writer for a lot of magazines as well. So, which has been some of that which has been published also. Now, when we talk about charging stations and when we talk about consumer experiences, so these are going to be very useful for you guys. So, let's say that you as one of the customer, who is wanting to buy an electric vehicle. The first and foremost thing that you will actually see is, yes, you're buying the vehicle, you're paying a sum of amount and you're buying the vehicle. The next that you will actually think about is, what is the range? So let's say for an example, like for a vehicle which is Ather, that gives you a range about 120 to 130 kilometers, right? So it depends on the usage as well. If you're carrying any heavy load and stuff like that, the range will drop. So most of the customers, they actually think, I did a review to talk to a lot of customers about why not switching to EV and stuff. The range is, they're talking about the range as to, if I'm traveling quite a distance, and what if I'm not finding a charging point? So that is when government has come up with something called as charging stations in various places, highways. Let's say for an example, you buy a car. Let's talk about a Nexon. Nexon does not give you a range of 360 kilometers. That is if you want to go from here to Chennai. So what happens is, in between you will have to find a place where there is a charging station and you will have to go. So what happens at that point of time is you become skeptical. So government and Karnataka government and all over India, everybody, they are actually wanting to involve themselves, and they want to actually set up charging stations in various places, highways, cities, main points. Like for an example, you all are from Bangalore, I presume. So you must be knowing this place called Kantirva Stadium. So inside Kantirva Stadium, there are a lot of people who gets their kids in the mornings for walks, for basketball and stuff. A lot of people have electric vehicle cars and bikes. So they come and they put the vehicle for charging, and they go with their children when they are practicing and stuff. They are focusing on their child's practice also. At the same time, the car is also getting charged. Now the thing is, now the EV charging ecosystem segment layers, like if you actually see the PowerPoint presentation, we will see that electric vehicle supply equipment, which are the chargers. You will see the electrical infrastructure. These are the four variants. You see the payment gateways, which is a mobile app, which is called EV Mitra. So there is an app called EV Mitra. Any customer who has an electric vehicle, they can download this app in their Play Store or Apple iStore. And EV Mitra actually provides what is the nearest charging station that you have. Of course, your electric vehicle will have something called as, it will show you as to what is the range which is remaining. So you can calculate as per that, and you can go to the nearest charging station and you can charge. We take the power from the grid, which is Discom. From that, we actually, it comes to the MCB, main control board, master control board, you can call it as. From there, it goes to the connectors, all the three connectors. From there, it is a DC. I'm talking about DC. I will talk to you about what is AC and DC. From there, it gets to the charging board, that is the charging station. There you have a lot of controllers. I will talk about that later to you. They have a lot of controllers. You have motherboard, you have rectifiers, and through EV Mitra app, when you actually go and when you charge it, you need to charge your EV Mitra like how you charge your Paytm and your Google Pay. You connect your bank account like that. You need to put money into it, and after that, when you enter the code, it will give you an SMS, and after that, if you enter that OTP, your vehicle will straight away get charged. Now, when we actually see this, consumers are there when it comes to electric vehicles, that is 2-wheelers, 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers. Even for that matter of fact, Karnataka government has said that even the government buses are going to be EVs very shortly. That I will actually show you in the next slide. So what happens now when I told you about AC DC, right? We have conductive, inductive, and we have battery swap. So we have something called as, like let's say for an example, let's talk about a smartphone. Let's say, you have an Apple or a Samsung or a Vivo or a Oppo, any phone for that matter. You have a power charger, you have a fast charger, right? The adapter will be big and you have a fast charger. When you charge the phone, it will charge within the next 15-20 minutes. Like that, we have DC to DC and DC to AC. I'm sure you're aware of what is DC to DC, direct current to direct current, and direct current to alternate current. Now, if you actually look at this diagram, it says conductive, and you have two segments which is actually mentioned, which is AC, DC, and DC. So AC, below AC, there is this pink color which says slow. That is a slow charge, which is single phase. And it is 16 ampere. I'm sure that you are aware of that. I'm again saying, if you're having any questions, please mention it in the dialog box. My team will actually revert to you either now or later. And when you see first phase, which is going to go at 230 volt, and when you're saying about 16 ampere, which is 3.6 kilowatt, the same way, this is a self-explanatory diagram. And when you talk about the quick charging, it is going to three phase, and it is at 400 watt and 16 ampere, that is at about 43 kilowatt. This is the conductive charging, which is when I talk about inductive, that is the DC to DC. What happens is we have something called as a 15 to 45 to 50 kilowatt charging, and what happens in that is it depends on the delta boxes, any charging station for that manufacturer, charging station manufacturers, anything for that matter. What exactly happens is, like for an example, if you are charging a Verito or a Tigor, Tata Tigor or a Mahindra Verito, you require a 15 volt power, wherein you insert that from 0 to 100, it gets charged in 2 hours. But when you're talking about something like a MG EZV or Aster or EQZ Mercedes-Benz, those battery packs are really huge and those battery packs are really big, and we need that capacity of charging the power. So that comes up to 25 to 30 volt, where it charges relatively at about 1 hour, 1.5 hours time, where I've seen customers, they come, they install, they plug in their charger, they have something called as an RFID. So guys, you will know that when you travel, you go to the toll and there is a sticker which is stuck, the RFID. That RFID, you can connect it through your Paytm and you can charge it. The same way, your RFID, when you actually do that through EV Mitra app, you will get a plastic coin stuff, which you can actually connect it in your key bunch, right? So when you do that, when you go to the charging stations, you can just put that that plastic key, you can just place it near the RFID place, and you will be able to, it automatically gets deducted, like how toll gets deducted from our Paytm or Google Pay. So here, when you actually look at this, with this inductive is, dynamic, which is slow and fast, which is starts from 3.7 kilovolt to about 50 kilovolt. Now, in this webinar, like with regards to whatever you guys are watching, and you guys are, you'll be having questions. So again, I'm telling you, you can ask us, and we will email to you, and we will respond to you for sure. That is there. In order for you to understand this, in order for you to understand the charging stations, I request you, if at all you have not watched my previous videos, I request you to watch what is EV, what are the two-wheeler components, and what are the four-wheeler components. When you actually see that, right, you will be able to actually, have an understanding, okay, why is Praveen talking about charging stations? Now, when you see that right, extreme right, battery swap, it says 5 minutes. Why? I'll tell you. There is a place, there is a technology wherein, you'll have a charging station where you don't have to go and get your car plugged in and charged. Instead, what happens is you'll have battery packs. So you will have an app in your phone. You will say that, this is what I need 2 batteries. So what happens is when you actually enter the code in that, it'll be like a big transformer kind of stuff. But there'll be multiple batteries which will be actually put in the slots. So when you do that, when you enter, it'll deduct money from your account, that is from the app. And then what happens is the battery will pop out. And it will say it is in 001, 009. These are the numbers. From 1 to 99, it will be like that. So you'll have to go take that battery, and you just have to swap it, and you just have to go on your way. So this is something that the technology which is evolving right now, and the kind of career progressions that you guys have when you are actually entering EV, that is phenomenally good. So if you're not understanding, please do let us know, and we will be able to explain it to you. Now here, the marketing segmentations, customer habits, and the charging stations locations. For an example, if you go buy an EQC, which is, I'm just giving an example, it's a very expensive car, a Mercedes-Benz, I'm sure you know. So if a customer buys an EQC, Mercedes-Benz comes to your house and they insert a charging station. Mercedes-Benz gives you a portable charger where when you're traveling, when you're actually stuck in middle near a petrol bunk or something, you can go and insert the plug and you can charge the vehicle. That is a DC to AC, which is a slow charger. But what you have installed, the Mercedes-Benz service engineers, they come and install in your house, that is DC to DC. So it's a fast charger. So solution is there for everything. Just that, we'll have to actually educate the customers. Like you guys are engineers and you guys are ITA sectors, you guys are existing service providers, service mechanics. So what happens is when a customer is coming and asking us, sometimes we actually get stuck. We are not able to tell them that, no sir, this is what it is, you need to go for it. I personally went to Banaswari, Banaswari, which is near the south of Bangalore. And I got my hands-on experience. I opened the complete charging station. I saw what are the connectors, what are the MCB, what are the rectifiers, the cooling system. It's a very, 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 very amazing technology what they've come up with. And we have multiple ports we have. Now in this, what you see, charging locations, you can have it in individual houses like what Mercedes-Benz will come and install it in your house. Collective building like apartments. And corporates like, you have one building, you have 4-5 companies. So we can actually go, distributions also is there. So we can actually go and we can install the charging stations there also. So what happens is it is actually becoming very vast for our customers, for them to say, I don't have any problem. If my petrol is getting emptied in my ICE engine, I can go to a petrol bunk and I can, fill fuel. The same way, government is coming up with so much of ideas wherein, you go to a corporate, you have charging stations. You go to a mall, any mall, Forum Mall, Phoenix Mall, any mall that you go, there'll be charging stations which will be installed. This I'm telling you much in hand is because I want you guys to be aware that, these are the implementation which is already signed, the bill is passed. But point is, it is in the working thing. So, like the way I was explaining, houses, malls, corporates. So you have, it is going to be more than what you see petrol bunks in Bangalore or in Karnataka. So parking lots, I told you, shared parking lots, private parking lots. And when you come to customer charging habits, overnight slow charge. There are some customers, like what do? we actually, go out, we come back and we put the phone for charge and we sleep. The next day morning it is 100%. It's the same thing. It's same thing as to like a smartphone. It's a smart car that is called electric vehicle. And mobility of use access what we have, and with regards to portable chargers that we have. NG Hector is come up with an EV, EZV and Aster. So they install a charging station in your house. They give you a portable charger, and you have multiple charging stations when you want to travel as well. It's just a matter of time. It's going to take a little longer than what you fill fuel, but it is going to be a lot beneficial for the customers in the future. Is because they are not spending any money on petrol, and most importantly, they're contributing to the green technology. So that's what it is. So now, mobility of use of access, professional car for long distance trips, professional use for the car for long distance trips, all these things, everything comes on. So when after this, we are going to post this in our YouTube channel, Vocuni. And also, along with that, we are going to post the YouTube video which I personally went yesterday. And I actually took a video of what is AC, DC, what are the multiple charging ports that we have, what is AC to AC. Bikes does not have normally a DC. It's very rare. Ather has. Ola S1 Pro, which has. After long wait, 4 months, 5 months before Ola started their manufacturing, December 15th, they're starting to deliver the vehicles, right? So that is something that we'll have to actually look. Now, the charging stations which is there right now currently in Bangalore is enough. But then the point is, like, when customers are traveling, when the customers are wanting to take the vehicle and go to, Coimbatore or Chennai or even to the near place like Hyderabad, Andhra Pradesh, they will be able to actually do that because what is going to happen is they're going to have a lot of charging stations which is being installed in the highways. Now this is about the charging locations which I told you, which is about corporates, which is about malls, which is about some houses they want to actually install charging stations also. I have actually spoken to them as well. So this is about that. Excuse me. When we actually see the next slide, when we go to the next slide, this is something that the board classifications, the level 1 and level 2 and level 3. Services required is phase wise. When we are talking about, we have the 230 watt single phase, 15 kilowatt, and it's standard 3-pin charger, which I will show in the next slide, and 415 watt, which is about 3 phase, which is it's a AC system. It's again 15 watt, which is about it is also going to be a 3-pin charger, 3-pin standard 3-pin charger, and 415 watt, which is a 5-wire system. 5-wire system, which is AC system, which is up to 200 amperes, and that protocol is about 1.5. But then the point is, like, that charging pin is going to be different. So yes, it might be a little confusing, is because this is a little technicality. But if there is any questions, please do feel free to ask us, and we will be able to let you know about it. Now, when we see, this is from the Ministry of Power, when you actually see that charger connectors, fast charger and slow mode chargers. The fast chargers are something which is with MG Aster, Hyundai Kona, EQZ Mercedes Benz, and there is another EZV from MG Hector. These are the cars which is the fast charging cars because they have the capacity like that. Slow charging is something like a Tigor, which gives you a maximum of 150 per single charge. So you'll have to, that is a slow charging. It probably takes around roughly about 2 hours to get it charged. But if you're actually, that is to DC, direct current to direct current. But if you're talking about a charging which is a slow charger, then that will take about 5 hours. That normally what people do is they will install in their house. They will come, they will finish their dinner and stuff like that, and after that they'll plug it in, and they will let it charge. It will automatically get charged, and the next day morning they will, as usual, like the way we take the phone from our charger, they will remove the charger and they'll start riding. In this, when you see, I want you to look at this slide very closely, is because this slide is combined charging system, which is minimum of 50 kilowatt. The rate output, it's about 200 to 750 voltage output, and it's connector guns. Connector guns is that port, what I said, that guns. You please watch the video that I'm going to post, the video that I took yesterday. I've clearly mentioned what are the connector guns and what are the names for the connector guns, because every car, like MG has got a different charging port, Tigor has got a different charging port. So it's like that, and it's about 4 volt, 4 volt to 2 volt, 2 volt to 3 volt. It varies because slow charger comes from 2 volt, but when it comes to fast charger, it comes to 4 volt. And always remember one thing, that if the vehicle is completely discharged, like it is coming to 20% or 30%, plan your ride. Tell the customers, if at all you're talking to customers, tell the customers, plan it accordingly. Look for the nearest charging station and charge it. Don't go charge the vehicle when it is at about 70%, 80%. What happens is the battery cycle will reduce. The same thing with our smartphones also. Battery cycle will reduce. So when the charging comes low, below 20 or 30%, that time you need to plan for your next charge. This is a self-explanatory slide, so I'm not talking much about it. And when we actually see the next slide, excuse me, when we actually see the next slide, this is something which is for a E2-wheeler, E3-wheeler, E4-wheeler, and E4-wheeler, which is advanced. So when you see the battery capacity is from 1.2 to 3.3 kilowatt, that is for the two-wheelers, which is Ather, Ola S1 Pro, Okinawa, Etiaz, Pure EV, Bhumi, and Ampere. There are so many electric vehicles that just the back of my mind, I'm just getting it. There are a lot more, electric vehicles which is going to come up. I happen to visit BIEC, Bangalore International, Exhibition Center. There are so many. Bhagwati, can you go on mute, please? Yeah, there are so many, electric vehicles which is going to come up. Now, when you're talking about electric two-wheeler, it is from 1.2 to 3.3 kilowatt, which the battery voltage which varies from 48 to 72 volts. When you're talking about three-wheelers, which is auto or commercial three-wheelers where the vegetable vendors they buy, which ranges from 3.6 to 8 kilowatt, and battery voltage which goes up to 48 to 60 volt. When we are talking about first generation e-cars, which is coming up to 21 kilowatt, it goes up to 74 volt of battery voltage. And when you're talking about the second generation, which is, I'm talking about, EQZ, and talking about, EZV, Aster, Kona, these cars starts from 30 to 80 kilowatt, which is the battery capacity, and the battery voltage ranges from 350 to 500. Now do you understand? Why is EQZ giving you a range of 400 kilometers, whereas a Ather or Okinawa or any other vehicle which varies from 120 to 130? Depends on the battery, depends on the usage. If I have to give you a small example, a bullet, Bullet, a Royal Enfield, a bullet tank capacity is about 18 liters. So you fill fuel for full tank, and you can go almost, you can reach, 3/4 of Chennai, you can reach. But when it comes to let's say for an example, an Activa's maximum tank capacity is 8 liters. So after completing 8 liters, you will have to go and fill fuel. It's the same thing. There in ICE, it's petrol. In electric vehicle, it's battery. This is the basic concept that one has to understand. Then they will be able to explain to the customers very nicely, very neatly, and the customers will be educated themselves. When we see the next one, we see that the power level is, from normal power charging is from 7 kilowatt to AC to DC, which goes into, electric two-wheelers, electric three-wheelers, e-cars, and other LCVs, light commercial vehicles, which is about, cars, bikes, and stuff like that. High power charging, which actually goes for, HCV. There is something called as high commercial vehicles and mid commercial vehicles. So these cars require a lot of power, which starts itself from 22 kilowatt and it goes up to 50 kilowatt. And there is this high commercial vehicles, it starts from 50 kilowatt, which goes up to 200 kilowatt. This and all is a DC to DC. You will not be able to do a AC charging, because if you do a AC charging, that is from direct current to AC charging, it will take ages for it to charge. It will take more than 24 hours for it to charge. So it doesn't make sense, right? So that is the reason for 50 kilowatt to 200 kilowatt, what happens is it's direct current to direct current. So it's a very fast, quick charging. So this is about, the vehicle's stability and the vehicle's weight also we have to see. So that is when we give this kind of motor power, because it has to pull. Because like for an example, I did tell you that, Karnataka government is going to launch government buses in electric vehicles, in electric. So when that happens, how many BMTC, the Bangalore Metro Transport Corporation. So what happens is there are so many passengers the bus carries, right? So in that case, when an electric vehicle, when so many passengers are there, the stability has to be there, the power has to be there to pull it up. So that is the reason we have from 50 kilowatt to 200 kilowatt. When we see the next slide, AC to DC charging, an illustration picture this is like a black and white picture. You will be able to easily understand the mode 3, the top left hand side, which has got a lightning symbol, the mode 3, which is connected to the onboard charger, and the charging point that you see, the mode 1 and mode 2, and the control pilot. The control pilot is it will actually segregate and it will actually send the power. The battery normally for cars, in this the battery is actually mentioned in between the lights near the fender, near the grill, but the battery normally has the proportion where the front wheel, the back wheel, in between there is a chassis, right? The front 2 wheels, the back 2 wheels, in between we have the seats. But what is there below the seat? In an ICE, there is just a chassis, below that there is silencer, below that there are all the multiple components which runs the vehicle. Excuse me. But when it comes to electric vehicle, you have that entire chassis, the bottom chassis is completely filled with battery. And that is where it charges. Why the batteries come there in cars is because it will be proportionate. So aerodynamic vehicles, cars are aerodynamic. Most of the bikes are also aerodynamic, all the super bikes and stuff. But what happens is it's segregating the weight. So it is aerodynamic completely, even an electric vehicle. That is the reason the batteries actually come there. Now if you see, I told you different charging ports are there, I told you. So now you see 3-pin, the bottom left hand side next to Vocuni, you see orange color, that is a 3-pin. You have a type 1, you have a type 2. This is for AC, this is mainly for bikes. Some cars do have that, but not many cars, 1 or 2 cars. But DC that you see, that is mainly for cars. Chat demo, that is for MG cars. Chat demo is for MG cars. Combo 2 and Type 2. Combo 2 is for EQZ. Mercedes-Benz EQZ has a Combo 2. Combo 2 is nothing but you will have chat demo and you will have Combo 2 as well. So this is something which is with regards to the charging ports. I do not want to actually take a lot of time of you guys. So I'm just giving you a brief explanation about what it is and how the charging stations work. Excuse me. How the charging station works and what are the benefits. Now, if you have any questions, you can mail us. And I will tell you and I will explain to you and I will give you more slides where you will have more exposure about this. When we actually go to the next slide on this, you see number of charging stations which has been installed from 2017 to 2018. So in 2017 to 2018, you see that, number of charging stations which is likely to be set up, which is 1,000. 2017, in India, Karnataka was the first state to approve for electric vehicles. That's a very proud thing, and in fact, it is going to be the capital for electric vehicles. We are going to be the capital. Delhi is our capital, but for electric vehicles, we are going to be the capital. And imagine when we are going to be the capital, what is the kind of exposure that we're going to get, and what is the kind of career progression that we are going to have. Now, this is again self-explanatory, guys. When you actually see from 2017 to 18, number of EV charging stations likely to be set up is 1,000. But when you see 2021 to 2025, it is 350,000. It's a humongous difference. And number of chargers likely to be installed is in one segment it's 4, but in 2021 to 25 it is 6. When you're talking about total EV chargers likely to be installed in 17 to 18 it is 4,000, but in 2021 to 25 it's 210,000. So 70% ratio AC slow chargers is 90%, percentage of AC slow chargers is 90% in 2017 to 18, but it reduces to 70% in 2025. What are we talking about? We are in 2021 December. Next year, that is 2022, another 3 years, it's going to reduce to 70%. And they're going to be, millions of career opportunities which is going to come for EV. And when you guys getting trained for EV, these things about what is EV, what are the two-wheeler components, what are the four-wheeler components, what are the charging stations, these things is basic. But I will tell you, one of the main reasons why I'm talking all these things, I will tell you what is that we offer at Vocuni Private Limited. And last two, number of slow chargers likely to be installed, 3,600. The slow chargers for the bikes and for the autos. But in 2021 to 25, it is about 1 lakh plus, yeah. So, and number of DC fast chargers, that is for EQZ and that is for, Nexon, or that is for EZV or Aster MG. With that, it's going to be $630,000 units. So this is how the outgrowth, segment growth looks like. So when we are actually investing, it is not something which is going to be very cheap, but when we are actually investing in stations like this, then imagine how many cars will be, manufactured, how many cars will be bought by customers, consumers, commercial segments. So on a nutshell, if I have to actually say within the next 4-5 years, right now we see few electric vehicles and more of ICE vehicles, right? But next 5 years down the lane, mark my words, next 5 years down the lane, it will be the vice versa. You will see less of ICE engines and more of electric vehicles, because everybody wants to contribute to this nature, right? That's something which is very important, because we have to safeguard our nature. That is when, that is what we breathe, not the pollution right now what we have, right? So that's what it is. So next slide, when we actually see, so this actually says, the next slide when we actually see, it's, I told you, right, about the opportunities when it comes to the career progression and stuff. At Vocuni, the main reason we are actually targeting on this is not only in EV sectors, we are targeting on solar, we are targeting on, wind. And we talk about smart cities. We are talking to many colleges, affiliated with a lot of colleges and hospitals. So here we have courses in regional languages, we have immersive learning technology, and we have courses created by industry experts who are very well versed in this. Talk about EV, talk about solar, but I'm mainly focusing on EV right now, so I will stick to that. The industry experts will actually, the course will be, given by them, and industry recognized certificates you will be getting. So it's like something like, you do your BBA, you do your BCom, you do your engineering, you do your ITI, you get a certificate. How valid that is because you're a graduate. It is valid, it's because this is going to be the new boom in the industry, EVs, electric vehicle. So when you're having a certificate like that, it is going to be really, really, added advantage when you actually go to any EV companies and say that, hey, I got trained and I got certified from Vocuni and I'm, advanced level training. We have all kinds of training which will actually show you. And the last thing what you actually see is it says it's affordable cost, right? So what we are doing at Vocuni right now is, we are actually providing these courses free of cost if you all enroll before December, because the next year we are going to provide this courses, most of the courses free of cost, and we provide internship also, basis the knowledge, basis the segment that you choose. Either you choose sales, you choose services, you choose a disti, or you choose marketing, basis that we give you. So this is about Vocuni, and when we see the next slide, that actually talks about the course offerings. Excuse me. So this is what we do. We don't only provide courses, we don't only train you guys, but we actually give you career counseling, location-based jobs, because we are present all over India. Location-based jobs apply to all the jobs that is green jobs. I said no green collar workforce. They say blue collar and white collar, but we are talking about green collar, which is solar, wind, and EV. Because we are protectors of the environment, and Vocuni mainly actually focuses on that. That is Vocuni, Vocuni Private Limited, and we do the background verification also. We help you do that as well. We train you for that also, and we give you a resume format as to how you need to do that. Also, we will help you in that. So when you are actually going out from Vocuni, right, what happens is you're not only getting the certificate from us, but along with that you're getting something which is you'll be going as a whole, you'll be going as a whole, what to talk, how to talk. My resume is done, my career counseling is done, what else, what I'm supposed to talk to, let me go for an interview to Aether, let me go for an interview to Ola S1 Pro, what is that I'm going to talk. All those things is going to be very important, and you're going to be scaled up completely, because at Vocuni that is what we do, that is what we are doing, and that is what we will do. So next slide will actually talk about the career the trainings. Now, since I told you that we have solar, wind, and EV, since I'm talking about EV and I spoke about charging stations, so we have Vocuni Power Technician course, which is, eligibility criteria is if you're 10th pass or if you're ITI, no issues, is because that is a Power Technician course. Professional course, that is something that, you should be certified, ITI certified or diploma certified, that is, VPC, which is EV001, that course. Power Master course, you need to be certified, diploma certified or engineering degree certified, because that is going to be advanced, and that is an advanced course. So we have these multiple courses, and we have basic Vocuni technician courses. This is mainly, we are actually focusing on the, this we are mainly focusing on the existing ICE mechanics, ICE service engineers. So they will also be interested that, I also want to get trained, but where to get trained? So if you know somebody, you can actually spread it across. You can actually tell them that you can get this training done at Vocuni and the basic course, because they already know about the engine, the specification, what it is and how it is and stuff like that. So basic courses is something about, we will teach them about EV, what is EV, what are the components. If those mechanics, if you tell them those mechanics, if they see what is EV, my videos, my previous webinars, which we are going to post, this webinar also we are going to post. If they see what is EV, what is two-wheelers, what is four-wheeler components, if they see itself, they will get to know. And once they actually enroll with us, which is, the course is going to be free, they will be well versed with regards to themselves and they will want to look into EV sectors. So guys, with regards to whatever I spoke, I'm sure that you had questions. I'm sure that Bhagvesh had some questions and stuff like that. Please feel free to drop in a mail to us, and we will be posting this webinar in our Vocuni YouTube channel, VOCUNI YouTube channel. In that, my previous videos are also there. Please do look into it. I'm stressing on that and I'm telling you, please do look into this, because trust me, this is a knowledge which you're gaining for free. And the courses that we are giving is also for free. So go to our website, apply for it, and if at all, if you have any requirements with job, we also provide placements. If you're looking for a job, go to our website, post your resume, do that. We will be happy to help you guys. And if there is anything, please do send us an email. I think I'm pretty much done with regards to my presentation as to what I wanted to talk. So that's the email that we have, support@vocuni.com. Please look into it. Please get back to us. Thank you for watching the video and thank you for spending time with us.